Hello, Brandi Varnell with Brandi Varnell Photography here, and I am just going to show an example of how I edit a wedding photo. Now this photo that you're looking at, this is Forrest and Ashley, and they were a beautiful couple. Had so much fun that day. Their formal portraits were taken in direct sun, which, doesn't have to be a bad thing. You can get some really vibrant, very colorful, and very dramatic images if you work with the manual settings of your camera and make sure that they are correct. Anyway, this is what we're working with now. So you can see that I've set up my Photoshop desktop the way I like it. I just kind of remove different screens, different palettes, so I can see them and grab them easily. Going to move this one over here a little bit. I like to see the history. The one thing about editing is, you can never really mess it up. You can always go back and change things that you've done. So editing doesn't have to be scary. Now, when you look at this photograph, there are a few things that really bother me about it. The first thing, and I'll use my pointer here, are the power lines in the background. I love the vibrant blue sky. It was such a beautiful day, and it was warm, but I really hate the power lines here. So the first thing I do in photos like this is use my healing brush tool to take out things like power lines, things that I don't like. I'm going to go ahead and grab my tool here. I'm going to sample a little bit of the sky right there where it's a little lighter and just start here and pull over right to the edge of Ashley's hair. Now you can see that I've accidentally used a little bit, went a little bit too far, and I've got this funny little spot here. All I'm going to do is just quickly take my clone tool, open my brush large enough, sample another piece of the sky, and tuck it in right here. Now, it's not going to be perfect when you start. Just don't freak out about it. What you want to do is just get rid of the items that you do not want to see. Pretty easy. You can touch it up in a bit. So I'm just sampling the different parts of the sky and plugging it in where I want it to be. I don't want any of that power line showing at all because I don't like it. All right. I'm going to go right back over here to my healing brush tool. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Sample a little bit of the sky. I'm going to start not quite right at Forrest's shoulder, but a little further from there. And I'm just going to pull my healing brush across the sky like that. You can see that it will think and then merge the bits of the image. And do that one more time, all the way across. There we go. Look at that. Now I'm going to zoom in here, because you can see a little bit of that power line there and a little bit of it right there. So I'm going to get rid of that again with my clone tool. Make my brush a little smaller, sample a little bit, and get rid of it. And here too. Look at that, power lines are gone. I'm just going to sample over here just a little bit where I see a little difference in the color. All right. So power lines are gone. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Next, the other thing that really bothers me right here, and shadows can be cool, but there's one shadow I don't like, and it's right here. Poor Ashley, bam! The shadow of the corsage is just right on her chest there, and I want to get rid of that. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and what I'm going to do is sample a little bit. You can see I've got my opacity set about 80% here. I'm going to open my brush just a little wider. I'm going to sample just a little bit here. And I'm going to get rid of that shadow because I just don't like it. It's distracting to me. And I'm just sampling and clicking until I get the look that I want. But it's just so distracting right there. I want to get rid of that. So I'm just cloning and moving And you can see just maybe a little bit of the brush might give you a little overextension, and that's okay. You can just fix it in a bit. Now, the shadow that I got rid of is different than the shadow that you see right here, this long line here. That's all right. That doesn't bother me. That's the shadow of her husband standing close to her. And the sun is coming off from this direction, casting a shadow behind Ashley. So that's okay. But I was just really distracted by the shadow that the flower made there. So that's gone. And I'm going to zoom out. Okay. Now, I really love the vibrancy of this photo, but it is a little hot for me. The photo just looks a little hot. I want to make it a little more dreamy, a little more soft. This wedding really had kind of a fairy tale romantic feel to it, and that's the look I'm going for with most of the portraiture from this wedding. So I'm going to just manually click up here on Image, Adjustments, Levels, and I'm going to pull the levels up a bit. Just a little bit. See how that just kind of made things not quite so hot, a little more soft, a little brighter, and that's okay for now. So we're going to end there and say okay. Now, I do a combination when I edit of manual editing like you saw me do, and I run some of my favorite actions. There are different schools of thoughts about actions, but I'm going to tell you one thing. As busy as one can get in a job like this, if I find actions that help me create the art that I'm looking for, I'm going to use them. So I have a couple favorite vendors for actions. One is Florabella, Actions for Photographers. They're fantastic, totally worth every penny. I'm going to scroll up here to a group of actions I bought from Colorplay or from Florabella called Colorplay Actions. They're fantastic, fantastic. The look I want here is real summery and very soft. One of my favorite actions for this look right here is called Pink Honey. So I'm going to click that, I'm going to hit play, and it's going to run the action on the photograph. And then you can see that I've got more of a vintage look, a little softer look. It's kind of changed the tone, give it more of a rich tone. But the great thing about some of the actions that you can purchase to help edit your work is that they're fully customizable. So if you look in the layers screen over here, you can see all the different layers of this particular action. Now I can start just at the main heading action, that is the Pink Honey action. And I'm going to just bring this down a little bit to about 26%. I like that look. It's soft. It's what I'm going for, so I'm going to go there. But again, I can change it. I can add more of the honey tone if I like by just moving the tool. It gives it a little more yellow, a little more golden. But I don't really want that, so I'm going to bring that down to about 5%. And then I always do check the contrast. Contrast is important. What I like about this particular action is it doesn't give too much to start with. But again, it's fully customizable. So I can push here, click here, and then I could slide this and give it more contrast if I like. But I kind of like the look of how the photo is at this point. So I'm going to just flatten my layer. And it's going to ask me, do I want to disregard my hidden layers? And of course I do. I just want it to stay the way it is. Okay, now I want to accent a little bit their features, the beautiful soft tones of their skin. Just make this photo very romantic. So what I'm going to do is run one of my very, very favorite tools, and it is an action-based tool from Candace at Wish Photography, who is another one of my absolute favorite vendors. Fantastic photographer in Utah. Love her, love her, love her. So I'm going to pull down to an action set that I use quite often from her, and that is called the Wish Doctor. If you don't have this, you don't know what you're missing. So I'm just going to use a sharpening action that she's developed that I love. I like the look of it much better than I can get from a manual sharpening tool. I'm going to hit play, and it automatically sets to 100%. Make sure my brush is okay. The opacity is 100%, but up top here, I want to make sure that it's a little less. If I used 100% sharpening, or this action called Need Stitches, which is a sharpening action, it's going to be a little too harsh. I like to run this action about 28 to 30%. So you just saw me change that, and then I just take my brush and go right over. You see how that just sharpens up the lines of the picture very nicely. And I just kind of click and head all over. I love to show off the lines in clothing, the things that catch my eye, like the brittleness of the straw here, the hay. They're standing by this beautiful hay bale. I want it to stand out against the background, so I am going to sharpen that some. Come up right here to Forrest's handsome face. I want to see his jawline. I want to see her hair. There we go. Okay. I think that is about good. Oh, his hand is important there. The little sparklies on her dress. So these are the things that go through my mind as I'm editing a photo. You know, what do I want to stand out? What do I want to pop? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flatten my layer. It's as sharp as I want it. Sometimes I'll just zoom out a little bit to get a really good look at the photograph. Now, one of the reasons why I like this image is it's not directly centered. It would be just as beautiful if they were a little more to the right where you could see the extension of Ashley's dress, but I really like the offset, the little negative space here that's not quite centered. For me, I just like it, so I'm going with it. What I'm going to do now is just add just a little density and a little darkness around the edges of the photo with a vignette tool. Vignette is a scary thing. We've all gone through our crazy vignette stage when you first start, and oh boy, I don't know what I was thinking quite a few years ago, but if anything I've learned is use an easy hand. So again, I'm going to reach into my one of my Florabella toolboxes here, and there's a really nice light action called a soft vignette, and I'm going to just run that. Did you see how it just kind of darkened up the edges? It's not too much though. It's not crazy. It's not this big dark circle. It's just a nice hue. What I really want to leave in this photograph is the vibrancy of the sky with that softness. Really nice is what I'm thinking, really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and flatten my layer, or flatten my photograph. And then one of the things that I like to do, again from Wish Photography, is there's another set of actions here that I love to use, and from Wish Workshops, or it's called Wish Workshops from Wish Photography. Another excellent set of tools. She has a special tool in here called Make It Pop, and I like to run that on skin just to enhance the look of skin itself. What it does, it just kind of gives a little soft light. Again, I'm running this, if you look at this, about 28%, so it's very, very light, but it just kind of, to my eye, brings out skin and anything else I would like to have detailed. Okay, so now you see my finished image. I like it. It's simple, it's clean, it's soft, it's romantic, and there's nothing going on in that photograph except this beautiful scenery and this fantastically gorgeous couple. So I'm going to go ahead and save that and add my watermark, and I'm done.